Leaders had a message for Washington about disasters today. The federal government needs to find a way to help with progress and get out of the way. Sabrina Wilson reports the head of FEMA bore the brunt of pressure as communities push to have Katrina loans forgiven.
We hope this never will happen to us again.
On an early morning bus ride, a tour of a community mending piece by piece. St. Bernard Parish, 5 years after Katrina, is the focus as Senator Mary Landrieu and parish leaders give federal officials a glimpse of progress while driving home lessons the federal government should have learned.
I hope that FEMA is really all ears this morning.
Off the bus, Landrieu and 3 members of the state's congressional delegation hold a Katrina assessment meeting at Chalmette Elementary.
We still need some help. We still need to make sure that we finish the job that we started.
Local leaders say federal red tape hamstrung communities for months, even years.
When we fill it up with bureaucracy and red tape, what happens is we have people literally dying on the vine.
We have to find a way to become more flexible, break down the stovepipes that exist.
The feds do get credit for vastly improving a levee system which failed miserably during Katrina. Still, the head of the Corps listened as local officials called the 100-year flood protection that's being built insufficient.
The standard in the United States right now is the 100-year, but realizing, and we've looked at the Netherlands, and there's alternatives to that, but they can be very, very expensive.
The head of FEMA says there's evidence the much criticized agency is cleaning up their act.
I think today on the bus tour we actually saw some of those outcomes. We saw buildings that were destroyed, critical public infrastructure such as fire stations and schools, and others that are either under construction or have been completed.
Still, the FEMA chief was hammered by officials who are upset that local communities still trying to rebuild after Katrina are burdened with repaying emergency federal loans they received after the hurricane.
Finding this $800 million or $1 billion is going to be very difficult, even for our wealthiest parishes.
Local communities want the loans forgiven.
Well, it's because that is going to be a burden that we're going to carry for a long time.
We know that's a concern, and we're working to go through this first cut to determine what we can do, what we cannot do.
As members of Congress keep up the pressure.
The federal government today, in our view, collective view, 5 years after Katrina, is not well positioned still to respond to catastrophic disasters.
5 years post-Katrina. I'm Sabrina Wilson, Fox 8 News.
Demographer Greg Rigamer told the hearing that 91% of the metro area's population has returned. In New Orleans, it's 80%. In St. Bernard, more than 60%.